Welcome to another Neighborzilla Halloween edition.
I'm about to say another important.
Halloween
the first,
edition.
I think this is the first.
Yeah, this is our first special.
I mean, A24 guest,
Yeah,
but this
This
is separate.
yeah.
This is
this is a government acknowledged holiday, right? It's not. The government doesn't acknowledge.
it's a Christian
Halloween.
acknowledged holiday.
There you
It's
go.
That's the important one. We're doing Halloween. All fucking three of them.
Yeah, the new trilogy, the ones start in 2018, the Danny McBride trilogy, aptly dubbed.
That's why I call it. And it's David something Green. It's David Gordon Green.
Yeah,
is the
David Gordon
director.
Green is the guy.
And I hate to not give him. I mean, I'm going to, but holy shit, it's just hear Danny McBride's name on something.
Yeah, and he wrote on it too. So
all three of them.
Yeah. And Jamie Lee Curtis EVP'd, and John Carpenter come back and of course EVP'd.
He always fucking.
Yeah, well, his music's in it, so
That's
how you get his music
the
for
thing.
free.
That's the fucking thing. It's
I
like
imagine.
you have to, if you want to make a quote unquote Halloween, you have to give him a fucking check.
Yeah, kinda. I mean,
Which I respect, but I don't
Yeah.
because he's done like 2 or 3 of them.
I like him as a guy because he just seems like.
I mean, he's done the thing.
Yeah, like
you
a
know.
cool hippie. He's just like, he seems like a.
He seems like the truth IRL
Yeah,
from like
Kinda.
GTA San Andreas.
it's like, hey man, I had this idea in my head, and I just kind of put the camera on this angle, and I let everybody else.
I mean, they're good films.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Absolutely. But, so this wipes off all the sequels from the old ones. This only follows 1 and 2.
It follows 1 and 2, and I think some like homages.
H2O,
That's it.
and
Like
Resurrect. Yeah.
yeah, like it does homages to previous events, but as far as storyline, I believe he went on a 1 night,
Yeah.
or 2 night technically because he did an event as a child.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Halloween. It
Of course.
so it's 47 or 40 years later,
Yeah, it is. It's 40 years later.
and it starts with the podcasters, some fucking idiot ass podcasters
Yep.
poking their fucking nose where they don't belong.
And this actually, if you number them all, this comes in as the 11th overall.
Yes.
That's nuts. That there was that many sequels.
Oh, there's been a lot. There's been a lot, and there's been so many continuity changes. Like, we killed Jamie Lee Curtis off at the 2nd or 3rd or 4th one,
Yeah, and then you can unkill her.
and then she got brought back for
Yeah.
H2O, and then Resurrection, and something else maybe,
Yep.
and then these.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, it's a quote-unquote clean slate, which I appreciate. You know, usually if someone does this, like, man, I don't fucking know.
This broke the record that Scream had set in 96
For what?
for a horror movie at the box office.
There's been no other horror movie that,
Nope.
like, none of the
None of them.
paranormals, none of the
Not like that.
weird.
Yeah.
Because you always hear, like...
I mean, their budgets were lower. Paranormal had, like $1 million budget, I believe.
Yeah, but it's like, because you always hear, like, that's what I hate about some awards. It's like, I've heard this 20 million times,
Yeah.
have I not?
But, like, as far as big studio, mainstream
I mean, I
horror,
don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If I like the film,
but
I
this
like the
trilogy,
film, but
like,
cool.
yeah, kind of sparked it back up.
No, it deserves accolades.
Yeah.
It deserves. I'm not saying that, but yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything to me.
But, you want to get into the plot?
I want to get into the director real
Director?
fast, and then the plot, and then
Yeah, David
actors.
Gordon Green?
Yeah, I want to touch on him and McBride.
Of course.
I mean, McBride's kind of like, I don't really want to dwell on him. You know him.
yeah.
This is the end. What was the other? You always talk about Land of the fucking Lost.
Land of the Lost, he's in that.
Yeah,
Pineapple Express, he's one of those guys.
he is the drug dealer. What's his name? Fucking Sam. Or
Red.
Red. Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's a little dirty rat character, but he's fun. But yeah, I mean, you know Danny McBride, but I'm more curious about the director. I don't know his name, or I mean, other than his name on this.
Let me pull up what he's directed. He's doing the Hellraiser series currently. The Exorcist filming right
Oh, the new
now.
one with the
Yeah.
trans chick.
He directed
done.
Halloween Ends
And Kills.
and Kills.
And 18.
Yeah. And it looks like he's the Dickens series, Mythic Quest series.
Not looking like we're going to touch on the guy, because I don't
No,
fucking know any
I'm
of this.
trying. Oh, he did Eastbound and Down. for
Okay.
12 episodes.
Okay. So that's probably like close to a series. Have you seen that?
Uh,
McBride's fucking great in it. It's his
Pineapple Express.
He directed that?
He was in on it.
Okay. So again, another comedy.
Yeah. So he's just from them.
Gotcha.
Comedy guy crossed over to horror.
Yeah, he said Oliver Twist or some shit. Like he touched on like drama. Okay. I mean, he seems well rounded. Then at that point, to say the least, I'll give him that.
A little bit, yeah. Nothing to like note or anything. He did.
I mean, Eastbound Down and Pineapple's the only thing I know him from, and you didn't say he directed, like just did those, other than the 12 episodes. So.
Yeah. No.
Cool.
Yeah.
So he did the Mexico series.
So that's the director, ladies and gentlemen.
He did fucking kudos, man. This is gonna be a kudos trilogy.
Yeah, no. This trilogy really solidified Halloween for me as the top slasher franchise.
Yeah,
if there was ever a doubt before, because there's always been debate who's better, Freddy, Jason, Michael.
Yeah, then you have the other ones, like those assholes who will be like,
Texas
you know,
Chainsaw,
yeah, they'll
Chucky.
or Hellraiser or someone.
Yeah.
Man, I hate those I hate Chucky people. I'll
Yeah.
say it, and I'm not gonna fucking mince my words on that and do Chucky tomorrow.
No.
This came up on accident because I shit talked on accident. I said I was like, oh, I like proto slashers, like being a fucking artsy asshole.
Yeah.
And like,
then you fell in love with the most recent one.
Well, kinda. But I did the same thing you did, like, because I think I specifically said I don't like Halloween 1, 2, 3, but I was just making like because that was the first one I could think of because I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't like all of them. I don't really necessarily love slashers. I don't think Friday the 13th are that good.
No.
I don't really like the Freddy Krueger. He's too on the nose.
Yes, very much so.
I like the single offs, like Last House on the Left and shit like that, and, you know, The Hills and stuff.
Yep.
But I do love the Halloweens. 1 and 2 are just, they're unmatched. They did what they should have done, and they did what they did in, you know, this as an homage. They did 2 seconds after. So in my opinion, it's like a Hateful Eight, like Chapter 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to watch those back to back. And then they had the balls to figure out, like, let's do something different for the third one.
Exactly.
And Season of the Witch, I will go down as saying it's, not counting these 3, one of my favorite fucking Halloweens.
You're a person, and I've heard several other people say that. There's like a whole little niche fan base that likes 3, and then there's like a whole rabid fan base that disowns 3. Nobody wants to claim Season of the Witch.
It's that weird thing. It's some people do, and they praise it, and other people are like, it's alright.
Yeah.
But I mean, and their immediate gripe is Michael Myers isn't in it, or, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis isn't in it.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, it's not a Halloween movie.
But yeah, when people say it, I'm like...
It's like, okay, well then change the fucking name, or just call it Season of the Witch.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Don't call it Halloween. It's not my problem. I didn't fucking name it. It's still a good movie.
It's a good fucking film, man.
Yeah,
They tried something different. I like it. The mask fucking Celtic bullshit. The ending's fantastic. It's one of the best endings to a horror drama.
Right.
It's just him on the phone screaming to a telephone operator to cut the channel.
And we talked about it earlier, but just to mention it, $10 million budget grossed over $255
That's
million.
insane.
That's insane. For 2020, like 2018.
2018, yeah.
2018. The slasher genre is dead. The
slasher is kind of dead, but we're now in that nostalgia point. And boy, did this milk nostalgia, but I wasn't mad because they're great films. But I felt nostalgia baited, of course, you know.
And then kind of run through notable actresses.
Jamie fucking Lee Curtis.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Frank fucking Castle. I mean, like, what is the other guy's name? Joseph Judge or something like that?
Oh, yeah, the
other
thing. Yeah.
I mean...
Judy Greer, Andy Matichak, I
think.
Andy Matichak.
And you said she's orange?
Yeah, Orange is the New Black, 666 Park Avenue, Blue Bloods.
That's fucking Blue Bloods.
Yeah, good
weird.
For her. Will Patton.
Got that money.
Will Patton as officer. What's his face?
And Toby Huss, dude.
Oh yeah.
Jesus fucking. I did not know until doing research for this episode that he is goddamn Khan.
Yeah.
I knew him as Big Mike from Reno.
Yep.
I knew him as the mattress fucking guy from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And something else you mentioned.
Didn't know he was Khan Super Nuisance Phone.
Yeah. I was like, is that fucking right?
Shout out King of the Hill.
And it's like such a pivotal character. It like 164 fucking episodes is like his number. The amount of character development, undevelopment, and like that's insane.
But what do you think of the cast overall?
Spotless.
Before we get into the plot,
Spotless.
really,
I wouldn't change anything. I like the little stoner kid.
Me too.
I like
her little boyfriend at the end.
I like hating the boyfriend because
Yeah.
you were supposed to hate the boyfriend. Abusive little shit. He's like Amber Heard, the fucking dude. He throws her fucking phone in pudding and shit.
Yeah, what is that?
He's such a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
So but you love to hate him.
Right.
I can't.
Execute.
You know, he's like the fucking Joffrey kid.
Yes.
You're supposed to fucking hate his guts.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad when I'm like, man, I fucking hate this character's guts on screen.
Judy Greer was the perfect daughter to me as Jamie Lee Curtis.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it, but the second I saw it, I was like, holy shit. Yeah.
Because to me, like, off the top of my head, the only other serious role I can remember her in is The Village. That's just because I watched that recently. Like, I
watched it recently, too, because I love that film. We should do it. It's Shyamalan's best, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's a great cast. That would be a good one.
Oh, the best casting. You can't even touch it. It's cast like Halloween.
Yeah. But she plays the perfect estranged daughter role. Where, like,
and her twist at the end.
Oh, yes.
I'm not going to spoil it until we get there, but yeah, she has a character twist.
Of course.
Where apparently it's all just a front.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I loved it. But Ray, the husband, Toby Huss.
Yep.
You made a comment, like, you texted me and you were like, I'm trying to, like, look up reviews and, like, what people think, and everyone's bitching about the jokes.
Yeah.
What jokes? And I was like, maybe the stoner kid and the husband.
Yeah, I don't know.
But again, you cast these characters for that. These characters are made to be the comic relief, but it's not out of place.
Yeah.
The stoner kid's fantastic.
I thought so too.
He calls out the series. He's like, I don't know, man. A guy in a mask killing like 4 teenagers.
Yeah.
That's not really big.
Yeah.
Hey, can I blow up this pumpkin?
The best. The best.
It's like...
Sounds like us.
Then he's on the bike. He's like just in a bike in the garage, stoned on a motorcycle, like pretending to ride, like, yeah. And that's his death. Like, it's fucking great. Like, and that's why I was like, maybe him and Ray.
Right.
But I don't remember, like, jokes.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, and now I know, but, like, the doctor was more off-putting than the humor in this movie. Like, the character, which I know...
As far as, like, I don't want to say you call it, but...
Yeah, like, it's like, oh, well, obviously he's going to fuck something up.
But it's in one movie, and I like it.
Right, exactly.
I don't like it, but it's contained.
Exactly. That was my thing. But
he has nothing to do with the overall plot.
No.
Even in that first film, because it's a 2-part film. He's not even in the second one. Other than stabbing Hawkins in the neck.
Yeah.
And, like, trapping the daughter.
And I think they all three have about the same runtime. They're all a little less than 2 hours. So, like, they're not lengthy at all.
Do you think the doctor is a call to shitting on the cult idea? Because, like, he, like, pretends like there's something... Like, you know what I mean? He's like, oh, I will sacrifice you. And, like, Michael Myers just, like, kills him and it has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Good Doctor Gone Bad is kind of like the cult vibe. As far as, like, all
the same
sacrifice.
Doctor, right? That's the same doctor from 1 and 2.
Loomis,
yeah.
I think no, I don't think his name is.
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah, it's okay. Loomis.
I thought it was, but
so that makes it make sense. But like I said, I wasn't a big fan of the originals, so I
liked Loomis.
I didn't know everything about it.
I didn't mind Loomis at all. He was fun.
No, yeah, and
he was a good, like.
He was stupid enough to keep it going.
One step behind Michael, like, oh, you dastardly bastard! I'll get you next film. Exactly. And, like, then he has, like, the plot twist and shit in, like, 4, where he, like, holds... It's his niece? It's Michael Myers' niece or his granddaughter or something.
Yeah.
And, he's, like, using her as a shield. And, like, bait. He's like, oh, come get the girl. So, I mean, like, he's fun.
Yeah.
So, like, but I like that they kind of just killed it off.
But...
It doesn't need... We don't need a fucking Loomis anymore. We have Jamie Lee Curtis. We always had kind of.
I think that's why they used this movie to wrap that up.
Yeah. And I like that it was contained in one.
Yep, they shut it all down in one movie, and then immediately started into the 1v1 Jamie Lee Curtis versus Michael Myers.
Which is, man, do you want, I mean, Judy Greer, she's great. I know her as Kitty, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've seen her in other shows, but she's Kitty.
She's
I
Kitty.
love Arrested
She'll
Development.
always be Kitty to me as well.
Every time I see her, I just yell Spring Break in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like
Me
Spring
too.
Break, right? Yeah,
Me
Spring
too.
Break.
Yeah. I mean, that's her thing.
Woo!
Yeah. Andy Matichik's not bad as the granddaughter.
I kind of didn't like her, I'll be honest.
She
But she
kind of
converted me.
carries the first two films.
I thought the opposite. I thought Kitty carried the first one. As far as, like, side, not Jamie
Well,
Lee.
from viewers' perspective, like the
If you had to.
the story is told to her, through her,
She is
through
kind of
her
the audience.
eyes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if you don't know anything about it, you're the granddaughter.
I get that.
You're learning the Michael Myers history.
I wasn't hinged that much
Yeah.
on it, but I get it. Yeah, it's like I said, she wasn't bad.
Because especially in the second film, when Jamie Lee Curtis is mostly contained to just the hospital.
Yeah.
So for the whole
I don't
time,
think she. No, she doesn't leave. That the whole.
No,
she's
the
literally
whole-
in the hospital
yeah.
because the film ends with her still in the hospital, trapped.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Because
you're right.
yeah, the second one is all the mom and.
See, I think
the
she hinges. I
granddaughter.
think she's better in the second one only because the story
Yes.
allows the granddaughter
Yes.
to be more of the view.
I'd agree.
But I do agree she wasn't bad in the first film. And
No.
she's great in the third film. She's great in the second.
And
But
I,
right away, I was kind of off put.
and I liked her as far as like chronologically. You could kind of see similarities amongst the three of them. As far as visually, they
I
look
tried
like
to
a
take
family.
notes. I tried to take notes, but like by the kind of 2/3 into the first film, I stopped
Yeah.
because I just kept retaining. I didn't have to
Exactly.
take notes anymore. I was along for the ride. I was soaked into the story. Everything made sense.
Yep.
I didn't have to take notes anymore. It was just like I got to just watch and
Yep.
enjoy and praise and kind of just like my little points.
Yep. Exactly.
But you could see the generation. The casting is fucking phenomenal.
I agree.
You can see that fucking Judy Greer's character is traumatized. What's her name?
Oh yeah.
Because I keep wanting to say Judy Greer or Kitty, and it's disrespectful. it's I can't be calling her Kitty the whole time. But while I do that, yeah, I'll keep like praising. You can see it like her training kicks in, and has always been there. The mom's, quote unquote crazy. That's why the granddaughter Karen. Oh, she's literally Karen. Fuck
Yeah.
my life.
I thought it was Karen, but
I
I
did
didn't want
too.
to say Karen. but-
Yeah, I did too, and I was like, it's
So
not
now we're
Karen.
in this position.
Okay, yeah, you can see the generational thing where it's like the granddaughter has the instincts kind of embroiled in her to always be on edge
Yeah.
and always like, I can use a knife.
Yeah.
But like, the mom, Karen, kind of shuns it. So like, then there's the obvious bond between her and Jamie Lee. So I mean, like, it's you fucking feel it and you bounce off, and like you progressively, she gets more.
Yep.
I wouldn't say visceral, but she gets more on Jamie's level
Yeah.
as far as that constant ready and that like I definitely can hold my fucking own.
Exactly. And she doesn't hold the resentment that her mom holds for being the kid that's like, what the fuck's wrong with my mom? Like,
It's that too,
you know what
and
I'm
like
saying?
she's right
Yeah.
as
But-
far as like in the film. Laurie's always right.
Exactly. Being a
It's good.
generation away though lets her see that. Like her mom's too close to it, so she's always like, "Oh my god, my mom's crazy." She takes it from that, and then the granddaughter is just like, "Well, she's kind of right. She is
Exactly. They don't
She
hide,
is weird, but it's kind of right. That's why she always wants to keep the relationship."
but she is kind of
Okay.
crazy. I mean, she's not kind of crazy.
Oh,
I
she's
mean,
just-
like, but it's good because like you can still see that the granddaughter is off put at times.
Oh yeah.
Because like I made a comment like, Lori just fucking brings a handgun onto the school track with like no like
Yep.
it's not a forethought to her,
Yep.
and she just hands the granddaughter a gun just because it's the 28th or whatever day it is, and then like she lives on a compound, it's covered with mannequins with bullet holes and
oh
like.
yeah. She's been training for
So like,
40
there's
years,
obviously
yeah.
tinges that like, oh, my grandma is crazy. Like my mom's not completely wrong, but like I should not be able to be around her.
Exactly.
But I like it. You could still like kind of be off put by Jamie because it's like she is kind of fucking. She's the baddest bitch. She
Oh.
beat Sarah Connor.
Oh yeah.
She's so good.
Yes.
They forced Texas Chainsaw Massacre into existing and
Yeah.
into shoving that fucking original quote unquote final girl
Back into it.
back into it, and as a knockoff Laurie Strode with like,
Yep.
I've been training for 40 gum years in Texas.
Just to get fucking whacked.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, we're not reviewing that.
Right. But yeah, no, like Jamie Lee Curtis is so fucking good in this. And
She is.
She's so good in the other ones, but just
Without
in these
a doubt.
films, like that crazy, but you still love her. Because like the first scene that they're all three together at the dinner that we'll get to in a second, because we'll get on plot, I promise.
Yeah.
Laurie's already been drinking a little bit.
Yeah.
And she just instantly grabs the wine, and Kitty like cuts that shit. She's like,
Oh,
Mom,
yeah.
we talked about this. And the second she raises her voice to Laurie, she has a fucking mental breakdown in the restaurant. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, da da da.
Yeah.
And it's like, just, what the fuck?
It's fun.
It's good
fun.
though.
It's
like,
great
yeah.
though. It's like phenomenal acting.
It's acting. That's what I was saying. Like the acting alone
is
is just, it's so good because everything is fluent with Jamie's characters.
Absolutely.
But plot. It is
starts with the podcasters.
Yeah, the podcasters.
Podcasting couple. They're true crime podcasters, and they're, of course, 40 years has gone on. Now they're on to the lore of the Michael Myers murders or whatever. So they locate him at the mental facility where he's been.
in his friendship square.
Yeah, his friendship, literally. He's like chain. It's like ball and chain style. It's like this big anvil in the middle, and he can walk around in a circle.
Yeah,
like
they're
a
all
dog.
like they're all eye bolted
Yeah,
into like
the ground.
it's like a giant chessboard or checkerboard.
It's so
Yeah,
weird.
I call them the friendship
Yeah.
squares. Like they're all just confined to them.
And the nurse dude or whatever is like, do not cross that line, because then he can touch you.
Yeah, and I like that the fuckboy Temsik is like, I need to get a good podcast.
Yeah,
And he says he got the mask. Someone in the DA's office.
yeah.
Or someone. I don't know how he
Yeah.
gets it. They make a comment. It's stupid. Whatever.
But
He taunts him with his
yeah,
mask.
he pulls out his mask and he starts yelling his name or whatever, and he won't acknowledge him because it's October 29th. It's not his time yet. We've established this. The movie's called Halloween. Come back on Halloween if you got balls.
I think I made a joke to you. I'm like, it's like a house that Jack built.
Exactly.
It's like it's
No,
Halloween.
like, I have a theory that like they call movies like the title for a
They're
reason.
starting to now.
Yeah,
It's
like,
just,
like,
we're dumb.
well,
Sonic is now Sonic. Bullet Train is now on a bullet train.
was it not? I mean, I haven't been wrong.
I was
yet.
disappointed with Gray Man. I didn't see a single fucking alien.
Not one gray dude.
Not one little Grady.
That was yeah.
But yeah, no. It was but I like that he taunts with the mask. It's appropriate.
Yeah, it
But
is.
it's also a little on the nose.
Super dramatic or whatever. But
I like the crazies. Everyone like starts going nuts, like the dog starts barking
yeah,
and shit.
yeah,
It's cool. It's cool.
phenomenal. I like that aspect that they took to this. They use the mental patient, the mental hospital, a lot more in the storytelling. And
It was closer to Rob Zombie's. Like I mean,
Yeah,
they tried to like show a mental ward, and I like that they show innocent handicap. I don't know the fucking term, but
right.
like they show like the innocent looking dude like just counting numbers on the wall and like just like they're not all violent.
No, he just so happened to be one of the violent ones.
And it happens to be brought up in the second one as well.
Oh yeah,
like
it's a running continuous.
Oh, the
thing.
whole thing's done well. Like as far as like showing PTSD and like actual mental illness and like
I like
it's
that
good.
The second movie starts with 2 missing insane asylum patients that weren't rounded up from the bus crash that freed Michael in the first movie.
Yes, and that's kind of I think a call too because I'm not sure. They never really bring up that in the first one or two, like when he escapes the mental facility. That's how it happens in those. Other ones get out, like other patients get out.
Yeah.
And they're never like brought back up again. And it's just a funny like thing, like.
So now it's not just Michael Myers roaming around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that they actually like utilized real world situation. Like there are other mental patients walking around. Like they did also get out.
100%. And then that leads into, I believe, the scenes we were just talking about with Laurie. We see Laurie
that
for
character
the first
building.
time. They show all that. She's drinking. They introduce Karen for the first time. See the granddaughter. We know their relationship from her seeing her at school with the gun on the track, like you said, which is a hilarious thing.
Yeah, like it just
It's 2018. She's like, "Hey, take this."
right. Like she has no forethought to be like, maybe I shouldn't just carry a fucking revolver onto a school and give it to a minor.
Like, yeah, fuck that.
An unregistered gun.
Yeah, fuck that. Take this.
I like that it's not answered and it doesn't really matter, but like her money situation,
Yeah.
like they're all kind of well off. I think her dad is like in the first one or two where they mentioned he's like a business owner, but like it's weird because she has, her panic room, and her house is like loaded down with. So like she's obviously like she doesn't have to work.
No, yeah.
But like so she just kind of lives in her own world as far as like Jamie Lee. She trains, she doesn't, and she hunkers fucking down for 40 years every Halloween, and
then this
doesn't get killed.
This all leads to the next scene of the bus crash.
Yeah.
The first kill off screen.
Yes, because
it's off screen, but it is the first kill.
This was a specific note I made. Again, Jamie's acting that I wanted to mention. It is the bus is Michael's getting transferred to a different facility.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis is just sitting in her car, knocking back little bottles of vodka.
Yep.
And she's like screaming and crying. It's cathartic and shit. Again, good acting scene.
They edited it up so it's scene for scene, back and forth, back and forth. And one thing happens, the bus crashes. It shows her. She's at the table drinking or whatever.
Yeah, and it says on the news, and then she's like, "It's happening," and they don't say he's on the bus, and it's like,
exactly.
It's Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's the 29th. It's maybe the 30th.
You know what's coming.
So yeah, it's kind of like this really good natural fluid build, where it's well, clearly he's out, and the first kills, I think, other than the little kid, and maybe the dad, because they're the ones that stumble on the bus crash.
Yeah.
And the kid, that's the one that shoots Loomis. He's like, "Don't shoot!" And he just caps him. He's like, "Oh shit!" It's good.
And it says Michael murders them both. So are we claiming this the first kid kill?
It is. It is the first kid kill. It's not in the third one because you made a comment. It's like, "Oh yeah, we're killing kids now." I'm like, "Yeah, we killed one." He was like one of the first kills as a kid, like a little 9-year-old.
I just always assumed Mike
who loved dancing. I think he made a comment. He's like, "I should be dancing."
Yeah, I want to dance, Dad. You're stifling my creativity.
So they're the first kills, and then we the boiler suit mechanic / the podcasters to get his mask.
If this is what the people were mad about for comedy, I would totally understand it. The building of his outfit is hilarious.
Oh, Michael Myers is hilarious in these. His hammer.
Yes. He is the comic relief of the movie. Like, first he's in his mental ward patient jumpsuit. That's not his jumpsuit. He doesn't kill people in that. So obviously he needs new digs. So goes to the mechanic shop. Boom.
Happens to stumble on podcasters.
Boom. Gets his face back. Gets his outfit back.
Twofer.
Boom. One stop shop for Michael Myers.
No shit.
And what triggers him, the podcasters go to his sister's grave the day before Halloween. How dumb are these podcasters? Would we do this?
Yeah.
Would we do it?
How many views?
I don't think they wouldn't. They would. She offered
$3,000,
like $3,000 for an interview. Like,
yeah, they don't sound hurting.
They don't seem. I don't know. 10K, 100K.
They're probably like a game fuel.
Knocking down like 100K a month.
I'd do it.
Video, yeah, something like that.
I'd do it for sure.
I'm with it.
That might be us. This might be a foreshadowing.
I could see us lost in fucking Iowa.
Don't let me die in a bathroom stall, homie.
I'll try. But I mean,
I give you permission to fight for a crumb of pussy. Get back up after he smashes your head in 37 times.
It's Big Mike though. Like,
it's good. No, it's not. It's not Big Mike. It's the podcasters.
Yeah.
But yeah, he fucking gets the mechanic off screen.
Yep.
And female first, and then crumb of pussy comes in to rescue her. Yes, because Michael Myers stalks her in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then he starts scaring her.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is good. It's good. And I
like
the
bathroom kills. I'll save you. And
yes, he does crumb of pussy.
Bitch, do you know who I am?
Yeah, and gets his fucking head smashed in.
It seems like all these slashers have that one kill where it's like that.
I want it.
Yeah, it's like, do you know who the fuck I am? and they just like beat the shit out of somebody.
Yeah, because it's like
I know Jason has that kill.
It's not
Somebody
an
always tries
innocent-
to hit him.
it's not like
Yeah.
I need a knife, so I'm gonna kill this kid
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
like,
thing.
oh, they'll
It's
go
like
punch him, and he just looks at him like, what was that?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's the New York one, the black guy. It's like a 2 minute scene
Yeah.
where he just like keeps wailing on him.
Like, what are you doing right now? Machete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, Kane Hodder. So
Oh.
any Jason you're thinking of is Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the podcaster guy comes in and like tries to rescue her, and he just caves his fucking skull in like 37 times.
He beats him like on
It's the best.
He opens every bathroom stall door with his face.
Yes, the dude like he's the
Boom.
battering ram.
Yeah.
Bitch isn't in here. You better hope she's in the next one.
And
He's like, oh god.
He doesn't even kill him. He's just like he's definitely dead, but he just throws him down and just like chokes the chick out.
My fucking notes is I don't know if you've seen it, The American Dad, where something goes wrong and like Stan can't hit Roger for a minute or yell at him, and at the end he gets locked in the attic with him, and he's like, "Oh, thank God you're here, Stan. You can open the door with me, or like you can open the door for me." And he starts beating his head. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, he does it again, and like, but it's off screen. You just hear it. Yeah. And he's like, "Okay, my turn. I'll use you." And he's like, "Nope, my turn now." And he just. It reminded me of that. It's just him just constantly getting his head whipped in, and he deserves it.
For real.
And gets the podcasters, gets his mask out of the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
That wanders off. he's going to his house.
Yeah, he's going right back to where he left off.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves. It's October 31st.
I think it's Halloween night.
Yeah, it's Halloween day when he's doing all this, and then
that's the next, not the next kill, but next time you kind of see Michael Myers is him doing my favorite scene is the paperclip internet thing, where he's like, I have no weapon. He goes into the garage, and it's that nice, beautiful long shot.
Oh yeah.
And it's like that. Yeah, that's where Michael Myers is the comic relief, because it's fucking funny.
Oh yeah.
It's
when he's digging for the hammer.
Yeah, it's this long, gorgeous shot where it's like you see him in the window, and he sees a woman. He has no weapon still, and the camera stays focused on this big bay window.
Yeah.
And you see in the corner of your eye Michael Myers' shape, quote unquote,
he walks all the way back there.
And you don't see any of this. You hear rustling in the garage for like 15 seconds, and then you just see him slowly come into frame in the woman's house, beat her to fucking death with a hammer off screen. You just hear just that wet slapping.
Yeah.
Just for him to grab a knife and walk directly out of the front door.
Yeah.
In this one long fucking live shot for 3 minutes, and it's the best.
In the brain of Michael Myers, this was the only necessity kill he's ever had.
Yeah.
He needed that knife.
I mean, he didn't necessarily need the truck. I mean, he did, but he was like, it's getting close to Halloween. I might want to drive.
And I love that he wasn't like slasher guy, like, I'll just fucking teleport there. He's like, no, like, bitch, I gotta walk 50 miles. Are you
GTA.
crazy?
Yeah.
No, give me your truck.
This kill doesn't count.
He's like, he may be like mentally retarded and all that, but like, he's not that dumb.
Yeah.
He's like, are you stupid? Give me the car.
I need a boiler suit and a mask and my knife in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I need to be. It's Halloween.
Give me the fucking keys.
It's technically Halloween right now. Let's do it. Come on.
I didn't want to crash that bus, but hey, shit happens.
We're here. We all gotta live with life.
Yeah.
I need my boiler
The
suits.
city I need is like, I need a whole tank of gas.
He goes full dentist. He's like, I need my tools.
For real.
But yeah,
It's so good.
he gets a fucking knife finally, and he just wanders off still. And this is where the whole boyfriend argument thing happens. We're at the Halloween party.
Yeah.
Because like Lori clearly is like,
Phone in the pudding.
there's kills now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's got to be him, quote unquote. Like,
Yeah, and she dismisses it, and she's like, "You're crazy, move on," and all that.
yeah, I think that she's missing the plan of we're all meeting at Grandma's house, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Because she finally convinces Judy Greer and Ray to go there. I'm sorry, Karen and Ray, the daughter and husband, to go there, and because I guess they finally catch up. No, the police show up actually.
Yeah, because they see Michael for the first time.
Yeah, they kind of start hinting at Hawkins being a main character because he's dealing with Loomis.
Yeah, and he's urging all the other police, like, "No, it's real. I was here the first time. I'm the one that arrested him." You know, the whole.
Yeah.
Got to give him the whole backstory. I was here during the war. He's telling him the war stories.
Listen, this is a small town that's
Yeah.
cursed.
It's
We gotta
all-
end this
yeah.
curse.
It's always a cursed small town.
We can't kill it tonight because that's the second movie.
Second.
And it clearly doesn't end yet because that's the third. But it's Halloween. We know that right now.
Definitely.
Just solo Halloween. Like,
we know shit happens on Halloween.
But yeah, they start having Loomis as a fuckboy.
Yeah, and he starts like following the police around like, you cannot kill him. And it's like, why you sound that way? That was my only question.
Did a nutbag get a doctor outfit?
Like his whole fucking character, I was like, alright, whatever.
It's Loomis. Yeah,
it's like
it's fucking
whatever,
Loomis, dude.
Like, why the fuck do you sound like Super Mario?
Yeah, he wanders around saying like cryptic shit. Like the first one ends with like someone like, "Oh, you scared me to death," and he's like, "You don't know death."
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That's a weird thing to say. Thanks,
why is the neighbor's house on fire?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? So yeah, he starts being a fuckboy with Hawkins.
Of course.
Hawkins' introduction is, I guess we could talk about him for a minute because he was kind of introduced mildly in the pinball scene, but it was more like a small town, it felt like It.
Yeah.
Like these films kind of felt out of time.
And he's the one, like, Lori's got a radio. She pulls up immediately when she hears the call.
The podcaster kills.
Yeah, he pulls up second. So he sees her there.
Yeah, and then she...
Yeah, like, why are you there? And then she's sneaking around the back with a gun, and he's sneaking around the back with a gun. And he's like, well, 2 guns is better than 1 gun, so I'm not going to tell you to leave, because my dumbass cop friends aren't here yet, so follow me.
See, that's why I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's like, there was no, like... The slasher cliches were kind of gone.
Yeah.
It was like, alright, Lori's right. We don't need to say it.
Lori's always right.
You know, that kind of thing. And it was like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you to go away with, you know... if anything, I can throw you in front of him.
Especially, like, they didn't leave the holes where, like, these were recurring characters from the original. They've already dealt with Michael Myers. They're just no...
Yeah, I don't know. The cop's not any... He's a new character. Like, yeah, it's weird. Like, so it was like, are these people going to die? Are they going to live?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, it was a really fun way of introducing, because it was like, you might just be making me care about this character to kill him.
Exactly.
Like the gay couple in the second one. Because they're in the first one, and it's like, they're kind of slasher bait.
Of course.
But they don't die.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they're introducing them to kill him. So, yeah, but Hawkins is, he's a cool little small town cop, and he's like, he gives in instantly. He's like, he's kind of that, again, like the audience. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're in, we're doing this.
This is
follow
the story.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, he ends up bringing Karen and Ray to the mom's house.
Yes, and
Lori's house.
No, some other group of cops get them, and Loomis and Hawkins are going to get the granddaughter.
Yeah, and
that's
the granddaughter's going to Lori's house.
When Loomis does his ultimate fuckboy shit and stabs Hawkins in the neck.
Yeah.
Then tries to sacrifice her to Michael Myers.
Yeah.
To, like, I don't know, appease some, like, weird... I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I didn't...
But, good shots, man. I like that this film was a lot of blue. It was a shit ton of blue police lights.
Uh-huh.
And in the second film that we'll get to in a minute is shit ton of orange from the fire.
Yes.
And this one is the third one's a lot of black. So
yeah.
They kind of touch on the colors, because there's a shit ton of police lights in this.
Yeah, to me, the third one, they tried to get those original shots. Those, like classic 70s, deep black, like when something's black on screen, it's black.
Making him the shape again.
Literally.
Like just that mask and a dark boiler suit. Yeah.
That's what it felt like with the third movie they were going for. They wanted the classic look to wrap it all up. But like you were saying, we're up to where Loomis is pulling his fuckboy shit, and I like where the camera's positioned in these shots. Like, there's one from Through the Grate in the backseat with her, and she's watching where he's walking them, and they trip, they fall, and they disappear, and the camera doesn't move, and then just he pops back up with the mask.
Yeah.
Because he had the mask the whole time or whatever. And you see it all from her perspective, and it's just a cool single shot.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of, like, the camera is going to stay here.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of, like, the Sam Raimi kind of John Carpenter, like, dolly shots as well.
Oh, of course.
Like, there's a lot of motion shots, but yeah, there's a lot of, like, nice single silhouette frames where it's, like, the action will happen in this frame.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where. but you need to stop the car here, and that's it. Or like you were saying, like her POV shots where it's like you can kind of hopefully get the grate out of the way, but
Yeah.
the grate's going to be in the way the whole time.
And kind of the grid adds to the shot.
Yes.
Of the limited focus that you would have from the back seat in that situation.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
And then he pops up and he's like, "Hey, my friend's gonna sit back here with you." And he puts Michael Myers in the back seat.
Yeah, it's so fucking fun, dude. And then like he's passed out for a little bit, and Loomis like starts doing his like, "Oh, I will sacrifice you," blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then he just gets up and like starts pulling him through the grate to kill him. He's just like, "Dun, dun." Oh, it's so fucking good.
Reminded me of Suicide Squad. John Cena's kill, where he reaches his hand through the car.
through the door and they crash.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, and the car is like stopped.
Yeah.
And it's that where blues plays a lot into it. Like it's that dark highway with no lights. A cop waiting for confirmation from the other cop car that stopped with Michael Myers in it and Loomis doing that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
But the camera's behind the shoulder of the cop waiting for confirmation, so you see like a slight van shake here and there.
Yeah. And you can't see anything.
Yeah, but just that blue, just in the distance.
Like, hey, is something going on over there?
Yeah, and he's like, echo, but, just that kind of shit. It's good. Yeah. I wouldn't even say it's tense. It's just a good shot to lay there and linger on.
Yeah.
Opposed to it just being a cool cutaway where, like, oh, the cop's watching. It's like, why don't we film half this kill just from the cop and just, like, have him confused?
And Loomis's whole thing is he wants to study Michael in the wild. He wants
is that his shit?
He wants to see how he actually kills. He wants to see him do it.
Man, that's dumb.
Yeah, very dumb. I'm so
Don't
glad.
Stab Hawkins for that.
So glad they whacked him for that.
No shit. Don't stab Hawkins in the fucking neck for that.
Michael kills the cops.
What Okay. So the fence kid and shit that's at the end of the first one, right? Or no? Because at the end of the first one, he's in the house with Laurie, etc. I'm not going to spoil it yet. So yeah, I guess he doesn't kill anyone else necessarily, Michael Myers wise. This is now just him and Jamie, correct?
Yeah.
I thought so. Because they're at the house. He knows they're at the house.
Yeah.
The granddaughter's now running through the woods to get to the house.
Yep.
And again, these are the instinct things.
Yeah.
Where she knows where her grandma's house is. She's panicked in the woods to begin with, but like she doesn't necessarily trip in the woods and become slasher bait.
Exactly. You can tell she's kind of been told, like, shown how to run through the woods.
Yeah, she's not as
helpless.
I don't know. I feel like Karen, it depends on the situation, because she can obviously pull that switch.
Right.
But I feel like Karen would panic more.
Oh, 100%.
So again, it's closer to a Jamie reaction of running to the woods to Grandma's house than a Karen being chased by him unarmed. It's like you were saying, a generational thing where it's like certain things bleed through and certain things ignore through that generation. Where it's like Jamie's very passive, aggressive. Karen's very passive aggressive, and then what is the granddaughter's name? I'm sorry.
Allison.
Allison is very emotionally shut off.
Yeah.
But not because of the reasons Karen is.
No.
And she's more action than Karen is to Jamie.
Exactly.
But yeah, her running through the woods is good. You feel that panic, but you can kind of feel like she knows what's up because she knows her grandma's house is close.
And yet this leads to the fence kill, right? Because she comes through the other side in the yard and she meets her friend in the yard.
Is that?
Yeah.
Is that where he comes in?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
Because then they're sitting there and then that's where they see Michael.
Gotcha. I thought.
Because she's going to the grandma's house, so is Michael. They're going to the same destination.
Yeah.
They just their paths cross here.
Got you.
And remember the friend? He was running from something.
Shortcut.
He knew a shortcut.
Yes.
That's why this is where they.
He was
Michael.
drunk trying to grope her. And be like,
Yeah.
a crumb of pussy.
Yeah.
I saved you.
Let's take the long way home type. Yeah, that's what this was. And yeah, this is where their paths cross. And
I was curious where he's going to die.
This is my favorite kill.
Yeah, you texted me,
movie.
and you were like, "Oh man, the fence kill." Was like, and I knew that the second movie literally picked up at like the fence kill, and I was like, "I'm telling you, homie."
Fence kill's the best.
Fence kill's pivotal
because Michael like just took it. Like he walks up and he's like, "Are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? This is where you got stuck of all places on earth."
Yeah.
And he just walks over and grabs his leg.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about it in the second film, like because they show it a little bit more, but Yeah, she's run to the her grandma's house, and the whole time they've alluded to a panic room. She, Jamie Lee, or Lori, sorry,
Yeah.
has shuffled Karen and Ray down there, and you can kind of see Karen's wall breaking. She's like, okay, fuck it.
Yeah.
And, like, because that's when you see the comic, quote unquote, where Ray gets a gun, he has no idea what to do, and Karen's just like,
give me that one, it's my gun.
Yeah, she's like, it's a 37, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You load it like this. This one's for power. And it's cool.
Yeah.
Because, like, she knows.
She, like, her sleeper cell gets, she gets woken back up.
I mean, it is. It really is.
And she turns into a super killer.
Because it is tragic. I mean, at the dinner scene, we kind of didn't talk about it, but, Karen kind of tells Allison, like, okay, this is why. She was like, she trained me until I was 12. Social services had to come fucking take me because, like, I was on bread and water and, like, loading guns, and I didn't know how to do math. Like,
starving me to live in the woods and run from Michael Myers.
It was fucking dark, dude. It was like, holy shit. If Jamie wasn't, like, quote-unquote right, this is just child abuse.
Yeah, it was like all the real-life repercussions of if something like this really happened.
It was good. Like I said, these movies weirdly dealt with, like, that whole quote-unquote mental health and PTSD shit.
Because the second one gets into the mob mentality of the public, and, like, when, even if you got them going for a good cause, like, it's still becomes too much to control.
It reminds me of Silver Bullet, where they, everyone's like, it must be a monster, blah, 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 and the sheriff is like, yeah, it's probably a werewolf, or it's probably a guy who thinks he's a werewolf, but either way, you're talking about going in the street and lynching someone, and he's, like, specifically looking at a black couple, and he's like, that's not very, because, I mean, it's real, he's like, that's not far off from...
It's like, what the fuck's that got to do with a werewolf?
You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it reminds you of that, like, that public of, like, are you really sure you just want to go around killing mental patients?
Yeah.
But yeah. Karen's kind of, like, slowly breaking her walls, and, Michael Myers is now in the house, I guess, because the granddaughter's now
there.
arrived.
Yeah.
And Ray...
Of course they get there at the same time.
Ray's about to fucking die.
Oh, yeah. She gets in there. He gets
clickbaited.
She goes into the panic room. Ray comes out of the panic room. Jamie Lee Curtis comes back up because she...
And just watches, which I appreciate.
She goes
like, he's
full
dead weight.
Laura Croft. She's in this shit.
Yeah.
Like... But, this is really the wrap-up of the movie. Like you just said, Ray dies, and then...
Well, yeah, it's that twist where it's like you find out that the panic room is actually just a kill room.
Yeah, and you find out that Karen knew the whole time kind of what the plan was.
Yeah, it's that switch where she lures him down.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I can't do it, Mama. Blah, blah, blah. And it's a good scene because you don't know. Because Karen's yet to, like, fully go into, like, kill mode as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, she's just going to die. She's going to crumble. And she's like, got you, fucker.
Yeah.
And it reminds you of the Cabin Fever. Like, he's like, gotcha.
Yeah,
it's so fucking good. Like, yeah, she uses it against him, and he just pokes his head out, and she just blasts him. It's so fucking... It's done so well.
So good. I enjoyed it. I liked it.
The fucking broken gas lines just throughout the whole house and shit.
Yes,
it's so
and like
fucking
the
good.
fan blowers that were hitting it just to accelerate the fire. It was perfect.
Jamie Lee just happens to leave the gas stove on all the time.
Had everything aimed at the bed sheets, the window curtains. Like, it was hilarious.
Like, there's a reason why these mannequins smell like kerosene.
Like, oh wow, you've been planning for this for a long
clean.
time.
I like it. I like that twist of it's not a panic room, it's a kill room. I mean, it is a panic room to an extent. And just in case I can blow the house up.
To me, this one had the perfect ending, and that it was the first one. So if it was going to be isolated, you could isolate it here and this be done.
Oh, as far as them burning down the house?
Yeah, like they burned the house down. That's the kill plan.
Yeah.
If they canceled the series after this, you would be fine with just
I mean, a $10 million budget, they didn't have much faith.
Yeah,
let's be real.
I mean, because the slasher genre has been dead. I mean, if we're being real, no one's been able to do it. And yeah, who the fuck's going to trust Danny McBride to do this? Let's be honest.
No, for sure.
But it also, they did the classic slasher trope of leaving the door open for if there's going to be a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, it is plausible. Like I said, they don't show you the fire trucks yet.
Exactly. No.
But yeah.
You just hear the sirens.
The fight's amazing. I mean, between her and Jamie Lee, he fucking like bodies her out the window and shit like that.
They fuck each other.
And they
up.
had that classic scene because the first movie ends with him in the yard, and then it cuts to him being gone, and he's never sighted again in that movie, quote unquote. And this time it's Jamie.
Yep.
And it really feels like the whole thing is like a Tom and Jerry.
It is.
It truly fucking is. Like the whole movie and the whole plot, because they've let Jamie live and let her become a face.
Yep.
She really can't die anymore.
Everyone's chased him for so long, now he's chasing her.
Yeah, I mean, she's been gone for 40 years. It's like, unless he fucking straight up bodied her and killed her, that bitch gonna get back up and she's gonna get up.
It's no longer the story of he's the boogeyman. Everyone knows he's the boogeyman. Now he's chasing her.
And again, that's what slashers should do.
The trophy kill.
At least now.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I get the 80s gore, but,
I mean,
it's time for plot.
Exactly.
It's time for character development. It's time for some creative kills, but
and this film does a perfect way of establishing all of these characters to go on for further films as well.
It reminds you of It in a good way.
It does.
It truly does. And not even just the remakes, just the concept of the original. Like, it's open-ended, but, this is going to haunt these people.
Yep.
It's going to come back in, again, 40 years or maybe 2 years. It's going to come back. And this one, I kind of felt like it felt like a 2018.
A little bit.
But for some reason, the second and third one do not.
No, they feel very...
Like a 1992 and a 1987 and a fucking...
A lot more retro.
It's weird. But it's not even retro like in a fun, we're doing retro.
Agreed.
But, the fight between them is just... It's so fun, and it literally shows you what you want to show.
It's epic, and it shows the age of both of them.
Exactly. No one's doing anything fucking bizarre anymore. It's just brutal.
Yeah, no one's invincible. They're both old. She's taking calculated shots at him, and he's moving very slow.
Dude, exactly. Like, he's always, again, that's been the killer walk, blah, 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 but
But no, now it's
she's no longer she's no longer just slugging on him.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm fucking stabbing you in the kidney.
And
I know exactly where your kidney is.
Yeah, and he's no longer wildly slashing in the air.
Exactly.
It's one strike.
Exactly.
Because he's old and slow.
I'm breaking your fucking nose.
Yeah.
Or knocking some teeth out and maybe knocking you out. If not, I'm stabbing you against the wall.
That's why all of his kills...
I can't be carrying you over the liquid nitrogen anymore. It's too much.
The only one he used brute strength for was the podcaster dude that was a dweeb.
Yeah.
So, it was believable that
again,
you would just go
everything
berserk.
is it's in plain English, but in a good way. It's nothing's like, oh, what? I wish they would have showed me this, or man, I wish it would have been this. It's like, Jamie Lee Curtis has wrinkles and crow's feet.
Exactly.
She's been quote unquote shooting guns, and she fucking has her house rigged to blow up in case the pizza guy comes too early. Karen's fucking mentally fucked.
Yep.
They're all in their fucking 50s and 60s. No, we can't be, I'm shoving you downstairs again.
And this one ends with Michael's breathing to let us know that he's still alive.
I mean, no, but yes. It kind of reminds me of Texas Chainsaw, because they get in the back of a truck.
Yeah.
In a house, but, Texas, the house is on fire, obviously, but,
Of course.
They don't necessarily show, because you said it leaves it closed, but, again, it's plausible. I didn't feel gypped out in the second one.
No, not at all.
When he was just no, he just ducked off in a corner and waited for firemen to come.
Yeah.
And then he just killed the first fireman.
And that's exactly what he did. Yeah.
Of course Jamie Lee Curtis has another hideaway in a panic room. Of course Jamie Lee Curtis does, because she's planning on going down with me. If she can get out, she'd absolutely have a tile loose in that basement as well.
Oh, 100%.
He hid away in the fucking basement.
Yep.
In the basement.
And what do they claim he hid in the gun cabinet? Pulled the metal screen down so he didn't get burned or whatever, and then just waited it out.
Of course there's another room inside that basement. He just ducked away in there. It's a structural fire at this point.
Yeah.
The curtains are made to go on fire. The drywall's made to catch on fire. This house is going down. I don't want to be in the house.
Exactly.
I'm no. But that's the ending.
Yeah, that wraps the first movie. Second one.
What would you rate the first one now?
Okay, yeah, you want to do first one for me is a solid 9. Solid 9. Because like I said, perfectly put together. Perfectly put together for if you want to keep going, and they do for a trilogy. If you thought you were going to get canceled, you could stop here, and it would be.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie got to come back. You got to bring back fucking Frank Castle. I mean, you did it.
You touched all the nostalgia buttons. John Carpenter comes back and does the do thing one more time. Like
those intros, those were cool. Though you got those were fucking
sick.
clean. I like this pumpkin.
Apparently, it's his kid, Cody Carpenter.
Yes. I think they worked on a movie together. I think he did memoirs with him, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
And I think maybe The Thing. I don't know. I think that's just Carpenter though.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I give it like a 9. I was so fucking happy.
I was too.
And I actually tried it because like I said, I made a shitty comment and I was like, actually, I like 1, 2, and 3.
I was about to say, are they really that bad?
So I watched them and I was like, okay. And then I watched 4 and 5 and I was like, all right. Then I watched H2. I'm like, okay, this is dope again. Then I watched Resurrection. I was like, it's all right. You got fucking Busta Rhymes in it and shit, but like,
Busta.
You know, it's whatever. You can't fucking fully judge it. It was that early 2000s, you know.
You know.
Then I tried the Rob Zombies, and I was like, the first one's kind of not that bad.
Yeah.
You skip the first 30 minutes. It's pretty good.
Right.
The second one's dog shit from Rob Zombie. And then these, and I was like, fuck it.
These are great.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, you know, it had the Rob Zombie vibes. You got Danny McBride, you know, coming and, I'm a comedy writer, but I like this growing up. I'm going to do it. I didn't have much faith, but I was like, fucking, I watched nine of these films.
Yeah, I've watched worse.
And yeah, I watched it and I was like, holy shit. And I was like, okay, there's a sequel that just came out last year. Okay, cool. And I was like, well, this one's coming out
tomorrow.
Today.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. But yeah, I'd give it a solid 9. I was so happy. Everything made sense. It was done so goddamn well. I wouldn't change anything.
Me neither. Nothing at all.
But yeah, that's Halloween.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Neighborzilla and Twitter at Neighborzilla_, and subscribe to YouTube at the Neighborzilla Podcast. Thanks. Peace.